Hey everybody, it is Romania Black, and I'm really excited for these 2 episodes of The Untamed, because last time I may have fangirled just a wee bit, just a tiny bit, because we got introduced to Song, to Jingxin, to Yang. We got all of introduced early. We got all the goodness with them. Oh my gosh, the acting was incredible. And then we went to the Ni brothers' home. We got Yao killing the captain. We got Mingzhu banishing Yao away from the Ni brothers' home. It was good. It was all good. And what I love about this series is as I'm watching The Untamed, I'm also reading the novel for Mo Dao Zushi, and I'm listening to the audio drama and looking through the manhwa. And as I'm doing that, I'm noticing that I only have knowledge of the Donghua at this point all the way through. So as I'm reading the novel, I'm seeing how things are being reorganized and recontextualized. And I'm also watching this and seeing how they've changed things, obviously because of censorship, but it's keeping it all fresh. Like the novel, getting to see how it's actually originally laid out is great. And then watching this version and seeing how they've changed it a little bit, there's this element that I don't know what to expect. And I love that so much. I'm like, okay, I have no clue what to expect going into this, so let's just find out, shall we? So it's really good. I've really, really enjoyed it, but I'm pretty excited to get into episodes 11 and 12 and see just what we do next. So I can't wait, y'all. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much more time before we dive in, but last episode I fangirled pretty hardcore. And I just got done reading the novel chapters 42 through 45. That's my only thing about The Untamed, is that there's no spiciness, obviously, because of censorship. The novel, though, we're just starting to get into that. But in this, what a slow burn. But I do love the character development that this series is giving us and all these character moments. It's great. So I'm curious to know what we're all going to get into with these episodes. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? We are going to start The Untamed, episodes 11 and episode 12. We're a fifth of the way through the series at this point, if you can believe it. But with that being said, we're going to start that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. These episodes. Yeah, so here's the thing. At first, when we had the conference, the indoctrination, we're going back to season 1 stuff, which it's been a long time since I've watched season 1. It's been months since I've watched season 1 of the Donghua. And so I'm glad that I haven't gone back and rewatched, because this is kind of refreshing seeing it all again and kind of filling in the blanks, even though this is kind of an alternate version of it. But at first, when we were having the conference and the indoctrination, I was like, weren't the leaders of the clans there too? Like Daddy Jin was there, Mingzhu was there. Weren't they all present during this? And Feng Mian didn't come, but Daddy Jin was there, and I want to say Qiren was there too, maybe. No, Qiren wasn't there, but at least Daddy Jin and Mingzhu were there. And then yeah, Feng Mian did show up, or at least I think he did. But I was trying to remember that, and I was like, why aren't they there? But they're not there because Chao's a little shit, and that's why they wanted to make Chao as awful as possible. Man, his actor is great. All the actors in these episodes, the actors pulling their weight. I'm going to give a special shout out to Yibo and Zhan playing Wanji and Wuxian in this. They were like great, but Chao's actor was just hamming it up, and they just made him as diabolical and despicable as possible. I was like, ugh. I'd say he's more loathsome in this than he is in the Donghua. In the Donghua, he's kind of like, in the Donghua, he's almost like which it is an animated series. He's very cartoonish, though. In this, he's just an asshole. He's just the worst. And I was like, ugh. And then I was wondering if we were going to get the mistress. I was wondering if we were going to get her, and she shows up in this. I'm like, okay, which makes me excited, because that means that possibly Madame Yu, she's going to have her moment. But yeah, oh my gosh, I took notes as I was going through this. But yeah, so episode 11 and episode 12, this is like some hard episodes, which this is just the beginning. I'm sure when we get later on into Lotus Pier burning, it's going to get really hard. But the Yao and Huiseng parting at the beginning of episode 11, Yao's actor looking pale and being as minimalist as possible and as like his gestures. These actors especially Yao's, Wanji's, and Zishuan's. Their nonverbal gestures and actions in this set of episodes were great. Yao at the beginning, when him and Huiseng, he says as little as possible, and he just looks pale, and he's like, I've been exiled, I gotta go, I gotta leave. And it's so funny because you know that Yao and Huiseng are going to be against each other later on in the story. So seeing them part ways like this is it's just such foreshadowing. It's so ominous. I love it. But yeah, the Chang, we get back to Lotus Pier, and as soon as they got back to Lotus Pier and things were all happy-go-lucky, and it's like, oh, isn't life great? I was like, man, they're really setting Lotus Pier up to be this happy place right before the winds come and completely wreck it. It's like, damn. And then the Chang and Wuxian moments, like the moments where they're brothers together and they're just like bantering with each other. It's so good. Man, Madame Yu, I've been waiting to see Madame Yu in this. Oh, she did not disappoint. She's gorgeous. She's much prettier than she is in the Donghua. The Donghua, I feel like in the Donghua, they make her features harsher to kind of represent her attitude more. But in this, she's gorgeous. She looks like as young as Yanli. I wouldn't be surprised if she is a young actress playing her. But if she's older, man, girl looking good for being an older actress. Like she just has that spitfire personality that Madame Yu has, where it just gets under your skin, but she's also a badass, so it's like, like she just rides that hard line between a badass bitch and being just right under your skin. It's like, I love her character. And the animosity between her and Feng Mian is palpable. Like, I really liked the act, because Feng Mian's actor, you get that stern, fatherly tone with him, but underneath it all, like when you see him give like these soft looks at Chang and Wuxian and Yanli, you know that he's a caring father and that he's a good man and he's kind. But then like she just knows how to press his buttons, and she just brings out the worst in him, and you kind of feel that tension between the two of them, that they're just both in an unhappy marriage, and they're just, you know, an arranged unhappy marriage. And it makes more sense now why he doesn't want Yanli to go through the same thing, because he feels like she's going to be put through the same thing he has been. And so, but man, the acting and the animosity between them is much more palpable in this than the Donghua. I was like, oh, okay. Because in the Donghua, you just kind of feel like Feng Mian's just ignoring her. Like, he runs away a lot in the Donghua. He just kind of leaves, and he's like, okay, bye. In this, the moment that she walks away and he's like, okay, we can eat now, it's like, oh, it's really good stuff. Really good stuff. What's not good stuff is the cloud recesses burning to the ground. Oh my gosh! We actually get to see Wenju in this, and I'm kind of excited about that, because I was like, oh, we get to see Wenju. Cool. He's barely in the Donghua at all. The ending of episode 12 kind of threw me for a loop, and we'll talk about it when we get to it, but I'm glad we get to see Wenju actually in person doing things, not just off screen via exposition. But his actor looks a lot like Chao's actor, so they really found two actors that could be brothers, and he like kind of has this like menacing over the top quality to him. I felt like in the Donghua, Zhu was much more menacing and sinister and didn't seem at all like Chao. In this version, Chao and him seem more similar together. They definitely see like Ruhan's sons, very much so. But the whole cloud recess is burning. The thing with Qiren and Zishin, what? Zishin and Qiren, I'm like, because in the Donghua, Wanji and Jishin's father dies. He gets injured and dies. But he's already dead in this version, so I'm like, are they going to kill off Qiren? Are they going to, because it looked like they were going to kill him off. I was like, no. We don't need him to die yet. No. But that moment between Jishin and Qiren, I was like, it was really emotional. Like him, like the acting, and Jishin was crying. I was like, what? It was so well done. But yeah, and then Sushi. I always forget about Sushi in this whole series. I forget about him in the Donghua, I forgot about him in the novel, in the audio drama, and I completely forgot what he looked like in this. And we only saw him like 3 episodes ago, so that goes to show you what a lasting impression he has on me. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out at all, and I'm like, okay, I do appreciate in this that they're giving Sushi more to do on screen that we see. We can see Sushi doing more, and just showing how cowardly he is, and that he's just so lowly. Like, he would sell everybody out to save his own skin. Like, seeing that in person in this is really... Because I'm guessing he's going to be at the water cave scene, the turtle cave scene. I'm guessing he's going to show back up in that, maybe. But if he doesn't, this scene alone definitely proves that he's just a slimy character that's easily manipulated and just will do whatever it takes to survive, even if it's lowly. It's like, okay, like painting his character up right off the bat. And then, yeah, just Wanji. Them breaking Wanji's legs, or breaking his leg and making him drop the iron. Oh, that is hard. Yibo gets all the props in this episode, in these 2 episodes, because he really does an amazing job of nonverbal communication. Him and Zishuan, Yibo's eyes, like, you just focus on his eyes, and they're so expressive. Like, when he's, like, in pain or enraged or, like, concerned, like, his eyes are just, like, just such windows. And in these 2 episodes, he says hardly anything at all, but he's so expressive. And Zishuan's the same way. Zishuan's, like, angry, like, resting bitch face and, like, eye roll. I was like, oh, what a diva. I'm all for it. I love it. I'm like, yes, please. Clearly, Ling gets his talkativeness from Chang. Clearly. But yeah, so that was hard. That was really hard watching the Cloud Recesses get... Because in the Donghua, you don't ever get to see any of this. It's there. It's on fire. And all we know is what happens after the fact. And I've not gotten to this part in the novel yet. So I don't know if the novel is different. Don't spoil me. I'm gonna find out. But it's interesting. So it's neat to actually see it all go down in the Untamed. But yeah, we go back to Wuxian and Chang leaving, and Feng Mian being like, attempt the impossible. We get the little scene of them shooting the arrows, and we get that little reference. We get like a little nudge that Chang isn't quite as good as Wuxian at a lot of things, and everybody kind of respects Wuxian a little bit more. Kind of goes back to what Madame Yu was saying. And then, yeah, we get, oh my gosh, the Ching in the lair with Ruhan. I love the visual of her in the bright red dress, surrounded by the black puppets, surrounded by the people in all dark colors, like it's all surrounding her. It was a really cool visual. Her actress, she was great in these episodes. She was like killing it. Just her eyes are like so huge. Like she was just killing it with how expressive she is. But yeah, so we cut back and Chang trying to cheer up Wuxian because Wanji's not originally at the conference. I put on my notes Zishuan RBF, resting bitch face, because Zishuan just his pride as a Jin. And it's a nice there's little subtle foreshadowing elements in these 2 episodes where the whole thing with them trying to take Zishuan's sword and he's like, no. And then Mian Mian, she says, she's like, our leader, Daddy Jin, tells us always to respect the winds and all this stuff. So kind of foreshadowing how much of a sellout Daddy Jin is just to avoid conflict. And then at the later part of episode 12, when Chao says that the Jin family is fine because they submitted, it's like, they'll do whatever it takes to survive, right? So episode 11, that was hard. That whole thing with Qiren and Zishan and and then Wanji suffering, like that was a hard episode, but episode 12 was a lot worse. Episode 12, Chao just being the worst person ever. He's so loathsome in this. Like his actor has such a fun time hamming it up and just being absolutely ridiculous. It's like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I put down here Zishuan and Wanji's nonverbal gestures. Just them, their visual acting without saying a word is wonderful. It's just great. So yeah, the clan leaders aren't here to back any of them up. They just sent their kids, the heirs to the clans. They just sent them, and I felt so bad because we see our trio. We see Chang and Wuxian and Huisang that were just really super happy like 6 episodes ago, and now they're struggling, and it's like, it's crazy. I like that Mian Mian stands up to help Zishuan and kind of let him stand down and like swallow his pride. I like that Mian Mian is there for that. That was really good. And then Ning being a damn cinnamon roll. Like the biggest cinnamon bun. He just wants to see his friends, Ching. Can't you let him see his friends? And she's like, no, you've been threatened and I don't want to lose you. You're my brother. They're doing a really good job of building that dynamic between Ching and Ning so that when they die, it's gonna suck. Like obviously they could probably pass Ning off as a souped up puppet in this version, but they're gonna kill Ching. They're gonna kill her and it's gonna suck. I'm like, it's going to really be hard, especially because Chang has been like pining hardcore for her in these episodes. Super hardcore. He finds like, yeah, I was waiting for him to give her the comb that he found and put in his robes, but they're going to save that, I'm sure. If Chang ends up like burning the comb at her graveside or something, that's going to be too much. No. But yeah, they just really, for a moment, Chang's pining kind of gets the better of him and he forgets that his brother's in possible mortal danger. And Wuxin, I like that Wuxin is a little bit more under control for the most part in these episodes. He's like keeping it dialed in and not doing anything too rash because he doesn't want to hurt his family or get his family in the bad graces of the winds. But he wants to talk to Wanji about the yin iron and the principle scene. Oh my gosh. Because at first I thought Wuxin was memorizing the principles, that he'd just recite them just to show Chao up and be like, look how smart I am. I recited them all. You didn't think we could do it by memory in one night, but I did. No, that troll, that gremlin, he just recites the Land Clan principles. And I was expecting more of a reaction from Wanji, but Wanji's like, are you kidding me? And I love that Zixuan recognizes it and Huiseng recognizes it, and they're like, the cheek on this guy. Oh my gosh. That was such an amazing moment. And then them sending them to the gardens to carry the manure out and put it and spread it over the gardens. Which I'm assuming the gardens are going to be like the burial mounds where he meets up with Yan later. But yeah, so at the place where they're at the garden where they're carrying the dung, he finds a way to talk to Wanji, and then it's revealed that Wanji gave up the yin iron. It's like, And that part where they're whipping Wuxin and Wanji steps in like in between them and he just looks so concerned. It's like, and even Zixuan came to help. It's like, oh man, that's a nice little subtle nod of Zixuan being there. Like that's a cool nod that even he came to help out. Like he's not totally against doing the right thing and against justice. He's not slimy like his dad or manipulative like Yao. Zixuan's actually pretty straightforward, which is interesting. But yeah, so the giant dog. When you first see the giant dog, that was cruel. And part of me wondered if Chao had been told that Wuxin was scared of dogs and that's why he did it, or if it was just a coincidence. But when you first see the giant dog's head, it was kind of intimidating because it looked huge. And then you're like, oh, it's a puppet. Which no animals are harmed in the making of the Untamed. The rabbits are fine, except for the rabbit that Wanji like punted. It's fine. They're all good. Except for the one that Yanli stepped on. We're good. But yeah, the puppet dog. It's fine. I give major props to Zhan in these two episodes. One, for acting. Like his nuance, his eyes and facial expressions with Wuxin throughout both of these episodes were so good. But for him to act as scared as he did with that puppet in front of him, that's acting. Because some actors may not have been able to do quite as convincing of a job, but no, Wuxin makes you believe that is a wolf and it is trying to kill him. It's like he does a really good job acting in that scene. And bless his heart, poor Ning. For a second, I thought that Ching gave him the stuff to go give to them, but then I was like, wait, no, she doesn't want him near them. So the fact that Ning used the acupuncture needles like he did is pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. It's also nice foreshadowing to the skull piercer nails that are going to be in Ning's head. I don't know if they're going to do it in this version of it. Maybe they will, because that could kind of explain, that could justify why he is like he is, right? Maybe. But it's a nice subtle foreshadowing to him getting the skull piercer nails later on. It's a nice little connection there. But him knocking the dog out and then giving Wuxin the medicine, and he's the one that gives Wuxin the information about the cloud recesses. His chat with Wuxin. And then here's the thing, where the turtle cave can't be that far off because we've gotten a little foreshadowing. Wuxin had the bottle, the 5-hour energy drink. He had the bottle of the booster, but he didn't drink it all because he wanted to save the rest of it for Wanji's for his leg when he gets hurt. I absolutely love that. That's so wonderful. It's like, oh, Wushin, my dude! Wushin, my dude! So yeah, saving the medicine. So we're going to get that turtle cave soon, I'm sure. And I feel like the whole Mushi Mountain thing is setting up to be the turtle cave scene. I feel like them going out to handle the monsters is setting up. So we really don't have the archery tournament in this, which is fascinating. I don't know if we're going to get the archery tournament or if they're going to completely bypass it in this, which we've shown them practicing with the arrows. And we've already had Wushin meeting Ning beforehand at the waterfall, so he doesn't have to meet him again during the tournament. So maybe they're going to skip the archery tournament and go straight to the turtle cave. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I really want to point out, though, that the one phrase that Ning says to his sister, he goes, well, it's part of the Wen principles that we always repay kindness. And I was like, oh. And that's the problem, is that Chao is making them all recite the bad principles, right? The principles about killing another and causing harm. Chao is making everybody recite those. But the ones that like Ning and Qing know about repaying kindness and the other principles of the Wen clan that aren't being said, that's what's being left out. And that's really sad. And so you can tell that Qing is really conflicted because she knows how good of friends Ning are with them and that it's hurting her brother. But at the same time, she doesn't want her brother getting killed and it's been threatened. So she's just got to kind of follow what they tell her. So they said at the end of the episode that Mingzhu was handled because they disobeyed. But I thought, because in the Donghua, and I'm assuming in the novel, Mingzhu kills Zhu. So I'm curious if that's a lie to get Huiseng to cooperate or what the deal is. And they make an empty threat basically to the Lotus Pier. They're like, oh, we haven't done anything to the Lotus Pier yet, but it's going to happen. It's like, ugh. It's like teasing us with the burning of the Lotus Pier. A total tease. But then, yeah, Huiseng faints and gets drug off. And Chao calling him a loser, I want to be like, dude, stop. Stop. And so then, yeah, basically all of our sect clan heirs, as Madame Yu feared, have been sent like a suicide squad to Mushi Mountain to go take care of whatever enemies are there. And I have a feeling it's going to lead us to the Turtle Cave. I just have a sneaking suspicion. But that line that Wushin says towards the end of the episode where he's like, a whore with a troll is like a complimentary couple or something. I was like, oh man, ha! It was it was hilarious. So yeah, so we end the episode with Wushin offering to carry Wanji on his back. Kind of like in season 1 of the Donghua that had happened where Wushin was carried. So interesting. A lot of you said in the novel Wushin does carry Wanji, so I wonder if they're going to do that in this. Of course, they end the episode like at the worst spot, so now we got to wait a week and find out. But yeah, these 2 episodes, they were great. Episode 12 especially. Just, Chao is setting himself up. His actor does such a good job of making you just like love to hate him as a villain. And Chao definitely, and now that the mistress is involved, I am fully ready for the Madame Yu mistress showdown where Madame Yu just takes that whip. I love her snake bracelet that connects to the ring. I love it. I'm like, I would wear that jewelry. That's like, I wear like no jewelry, but that wristlet's so badass and cool. Madame Yu is such a conflicting character because she's so complicated and there's parts of her that I don't like, but then I also kind of love her. So it's like she's just so fierce. And so unapologetically fierce. Like, she doesn't apologize for who she is. It's like, she's got problems, and there's parts of her I don't like, but then at the same time, I'm like, I gotta respect her, especially when she goes out. I'm like, But yeah, these episodes, and Wanji's back in the morning robes. They haven't said what's happened to Qiren, and we know that Jishin leaves, and he, like, runs away and hides, but if Qiren dies, y'all... And not having it. Don't spoil me. I'll find out. But yeah, these episodes were pretty hard. So fun times. But in any case, I really enjoyed these episodes. I hope y'all enjoyed the reaction. I'm pretty excited for episodes 13 and 14. We're going to have those next week. And so in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care, and I'll be back next week with the next 2 episodes of The Untamed.